like I said, what we have been doing is we've been talking about triangles. These are the first two reasons that we have spoken about. So those of you that are new, this is sort of what we've covered so far in this course. We've spoken about the fact that angles in a triangle need to add up to 180 degrees. So that was our very first reason that we looked at, which is then, or we give a reason then of sum of angles in a triangle. And then last week, Wednesday, we spoke about exterior angles to a triangle. We spoke about the fact that an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two opposite interior angles. So the two angles inside the triangle opposite the exterior angle, if we add them together, we'll get the exterior. So those are the two reasons that we've had a look at. So let's just make sure we're all happy with those. This will also be for anyone who's new. You can sort of see where we're at and what we've done, and then we'll have a look at our new reason. So I'll do some of these with you. You'll do some of these by yourself, but let's just recap what we know. So our first question that we have here, we've got a triangle and we've got two angles that have been given to us. Now, importantly, this 120 is an exterior angle of the triangle. And that's quite important for us to know because we know something special about this exterior angle. We know that it's equal to the two opposite interior angles added together. So if I want to find x, I essentially know that x plus the 50-degree angle must give me 120 because of this reason up here, exterior angles of a triangle. Now remember guys, anytime you make a statement in geometry, you have to give a reason. So this would be exterior angle of triangle. If the reasons you've learned at school are a little bit different to what I use, that's absolutely fine. It all says the same thing at the end of the day, and whatever your teacher has told you, you're welcome to use. This is the reason though, at the end of the day, exterior angle of a triangle. And then we use our inverse operations to go and find what x is. So we have to subtract 50 on both sides, which means that x is equal to 70 degrees. Now, this isn't the only way that you can do it. There's other ways that you can do it, but this is sort of the quickest way we can get our answer for x. But like I say, because there are different ways, as long as your reasons are correct and you're doing your maths correctly, we're never going to mark you wrong just because you've gone a different way or you've used a different reason. As long as it makes sense for the question, that is absolutely fine. Okay, nice guys. I'm seeing lots of 70s on the group or on the chat rather. Well done. Right, so take a screenshot and then I'm going to ask you to try the next one by yourselves. Okay, so here's number 2. Essentially what I'm wanting you to find is this angle up here. So angle U, or you can label it X if you want, but I want the size of angle X. So I'm going to give you guys a minute or two to have a go. If you're feeling brave, put your hand up or pop your answer in the chat. We'd like to hear from you how you did it. If you want to raise your hand, otherwise you're welcome to put your answers in the chat. Okay, so we're looking for that angle X. And remember guys, all of the angles in a triangle need to add up to 180 degrees.
I see a lot of hands already. So guys, you are also allowed to put your answers on the chats, okay? It's just that we can see that everybody is ready. Everyone has calculated it.
I'll give everyone another minute or two. Nice guys, well done. And remember, like Yolanda says, you can put your answers in the chat if you're keen.
Okay, can I take someone to answer?
Awesome, I'm ready.
Lorraine, we're starting with you.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
I said x plus 35 plus 35 is equals to 180 degrees.
Good. And what's your reason?
Angles. Sum of interior angles in a triangle.
Good. So
add up
sum.
to of interior angles
Okay,
in a
that's fine.
triangle.
Your reason might look a bit different, but that's cool. That's 100% correct. So sum of angles in a triangle. So now what do I do?
X is equal to 180 degrees minus 35 minus 35.
Good. And so what is
X equals to 110 degrees. And
excellent?
that's our answer, madam.
Excellent. Well done.
And you nailed it.
Nice. Okay, exactly, guys. So we use sum of angles in a triangle in this case to get our value for X. And we know that when we add all three or all of the interior angles up in a triangle, I will always get 180. It doesn't matter what sort of triangle it is, it will always add up to 180 degrees. Well done, guys. Awesome. Okay. Right, so I'm going to give you a chance to do question 3 because you guys are doing so well. I want X and Y here. So just sort of take a second and have a look at the diagram. Think about where X and Y are. And again, there's different ways that you can do this. So if your reason looks a little bit different to what my reason eventually looks like, that's okay. And we'll sort of chat about it when we get there. I'm going to actually just quickly go back and do this rather, just in case anyone needs to take a screenshot. And remember, guys, you always have to give reasons for your answer. You will lose marks if you don't put a reason.
We can do this, my pips. For future years, reasons do count.
Okay, those hands that are up, if you have a question, you can leave it up. But if not, maybe just lower your hands that we know if there's anyone who has a question to ask. All of these hands up to answer, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, I don't think these hands are up to ask questions. I think that they are up to answer the questions.
Cool. Okay, I'm just going to give everyone another minute or two to have a try, to have a go. Don't forget your reasons for your answers. Always have to give a reason.
Remember, my pips, that we just want to spread some love, okay? So don't worry, if I don't pick you, you can put your answers on the chat. Also, we can see it. You know, that's all that matters, is that we spread the love, okay? And I'll try to get everyone tonight, hopefully.
Okay, I think it looks like we might be ready. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna go to Khatiso. We are all yours.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm doing the first, okay. Am I just solving for y?
Whichever one you want.
Okay, I'm gonna solve for y.
Okay.
So what we're gonna say is, we're gonna say y plus 81 plus 69 equals to 180 degrees.
Good.
Reasoning is sum of angles in a triangle.
Perfect, well done. Cool.
Then we're gonna say y equals to 180 minus 181 degrees. Minus 81 degrees, sorry.
Okay. No, don't stress. Minus 81.
Minus 69 degrees.
Good.
And then, that equals to 38 degrees.
Double check your subtraction there for me.
Okay. Sorry, 30 degrees, sorry.
Good, well done.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, guys, so exactly, we know that this y is 30 degrees. And the reason we knew that was exactly angles in a triangle, or however your reason is phrased is absolutely fine, but as long as you're using angles in a triangle there. Awesome, well done.
You nailed it. Okay, we're looking someone now to answer the X. I see some hands, so probably they're done with this question. Hey, teacher Sam, can I just choose someone?
Awesome.
Wangi, we haven't heard from you.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm not sure if it's right, but is it right to work out x with angles on a straight line?
Absolutely.
Okay, so ma'am, I said 69 plus x is 180,
Good.
and then I said 108. What? And then I said x.
Do you want me to write
And
these
then
two the other way
100
around?
No, I said, yeah. And I said 180 minus 69.
Good.
And then you give me 111.
Perfect. Well done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well done, you did it. Teacher Sam, is it okay if someone gives this or maybe they haven't learned it? I think they have, haven't they? Okay, I'm mixing things now. It's okay. It's okay. Just I
Okay.
don't know if they've learned that rule.
Angles on a straight line. We did it in our last course.
No, I'm talking about the other one, the exterior angle.
We did it on Wednesday.
Is there anyone who did another method then, even though I gave the giveaway? It's just I didn't know if we have covered it. If I can choose someone to explain in a different method, is that okay?
Awesome.
Okay. So I see who haven't we talked to? Tiamo. Tiamo, would you find X in another method? Hi, Tiamo. Jesam, can you hear Tiamo on your side?
I can't.
Okay, Tiamo, sorry. You can just put your answer on your charts, okay? So Uratile, I'm gonna come to you.
Guys, remember you can put questions in the chat while we are talking to people if you would like.
Yes, please, guys.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
So, ma'am, I said 81. I said x is equals to 81 plus 30. And then I said exterior angles in a triangle.
Good. Okay, so guys, there are two reasons that you could use here. And of course, now I've drawn a line when I shouldn't have. There are two reasons we can use to find x, one being angles on a straight line and one being exactly exterior angles of a triangle. You get exactly the same answer and both are correct. So you won't be marked wrong either way, but there are often more than one way to do something in geometry. And so both of those perfectly 100% correct answers. Okay. And guys, you didn't necessarily have to start with y. You could have done x first. That's absolutely fine as well. As long as you've got your two answers, we're not really concerned what order you do it in, especially with geometry, because sometimes you might have seen the answer for x first before y, whereas some people might think, oh, y is easier for me. So as long as at the end of the day, you've got all of your answers with your reasons, however you do it is up to you. Okay, so Can I ask that if your hand is raised to answer this question, you lower it, because we've done that now. There will be more chances to answer. But if you have a question, to leave your hand up.
Screenshots, my peeps. Okay, all these hands that are up, guys, I don't buy it that these are hands to ask questions. So guys, please lower your hands down if you don't have any questions. And remember that as they are answering or we're doing some other calculations that we've already explained the question, you're allowed to put your questions on the chat, okay? So I know Amahle, that hand is up to answer a questions, but we've already answered the questions. So if you don't have a question, please lower your hand down. Under Lungile, Echo, Nomi. Okay, I'm gonna come to your name if you have a question, okay? Echo, I'm gonna start with you. If you have a question, you can ask now, it's your turn. The rest of you try to put your questions also on the chat.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi, Echo.
Ma'am, is it okay if you start by a number before X?
What do you mean before X?
Like write a number before X, like 69 plus X instead of X plus 69.
Absolutely, that's fine. Sorry, yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
perfect.
Okay, my peps, because I see a lot of hands, right? Can you please, some of you, put questions that you have on the chat? Unless if your questions is really long, then of course you can ask us by us unmuting you. Amahle, I just unmuted you. What's your question?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, how are we getting 111 when
So it's
sorry,
no, yeah,
when angle on a straight line is 180 degrees?
So because of what you've just said, so angles on a straight line, I know that when I add X and 69, I must get 180. So if I've already got 69 degrees, I need to figure out what's left, which is why I say over here, 180 minus 69. So by saying 180 minus 69 and doing that calculation, I get that the other angle that I'm missing is 111 degrees.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay, Lungile, we are all yours.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask that if you said x plus x equals to 180 minus 81 minus 69 minus 30 degrees, and then you said equals to 0. Is it right or
What
not?
are you trying to solve for though?
Number 3. X.
Okay, but remember, you can't have X equals 0 because X is an angle outside the triangle here. So X has to be some value. And there's two ways to get X, either by using that angles on a straight line, like I just explained, or to say that this X is an exterior angle to this big triangle over here. So it's actually equal to 81 plus 30. We don't want to get 0 because otherwise we haven't found the value for X.
Okay, ma'am.
Cool. Okay, guys. Right, I think this would be a good time to maybe take a little break before we get into our next reason. So I'm scrolling ahead a bit. It's all right. This is our brain break. If you're new, all it is I give you a little bit of a chance to stretch, move your body a little bit. I always put a little brain teaser thing that you can have a try of if you want. If you don't do it, that's also fine, but just get up, stretch before we carry on for the next half an hour. Okay, I see some hands. I'm going to assume these hands are to answer the brain teaser thing. So we're just going to give everyone a second to get there, and then we can have a look. Right, remember your order of operations.
Okay, can we take some hands then? I think a lot of people already got it now.
Okay.
Amiki, we are all yours.
Okay, ma'am, for the first one, I said 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 is equals to 24, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, now guys, I think like it's not entirely clear, so I just want to make very clear. There's 2 paper clips in each of these, okay? So just be careful of that when you're doing it. So down here at the bottom, that will be 2 paper clips, but over here in the second row, that's only 1 paper clip. So just be careful of that. But yes, those paper clips up at the top there, 8, 8, and 8. Well done.
Okay, I will take Buntle. Buntle, do you want to
Hi,
give us an
ma'am.
answer? Hi.
Hi.
Ma'am, for the second one, since it's 1 paperclip each, I said half of 8 is 4. So I said 4 times 4
Good.
equals 16.
Good.
And then I said 23 minus 16, and it gave me 7 for
So
the
this,
pen.
awesome. Cool. So now we know what 1 paper clip is and we know what 1 pen is. Great. So our pen is
Okay.
7.
Yeah, Thunder. Thunder, would you like to give us an answer?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
For the third one, I said 7 times 9 plus 9 equals 72.
Well done. So this is where those order of operations is super important because we have to do this multiplication first before we do the addition. 7 times 9 is 62. Ooh, my times tables are shocking tonight. 62 and then 60, no guys, 63. Okay, maybe I'm just going to double check my multiplication here. Yeah, 7 times 9 is 63, and then 63 plus 9 gives us 72. So we just need to make sure that we're doing the correct order of operations. Right, so now we know that the scissors is 9, the pen 7, and the paperclip 8. Now remember those order of operations again. So who wants to give me an answer?
Okay, I'm gonna choose Amanda. Amanda, can give us the final answer.
Hey, ma'am.
Hi.
So, ma'am, I said 9 plus 7 times 8 gave me 65.
Okay, so guys, remember when we're doing this, the multiplication has to happen first. Okay, so exactly. First, we do the multiplication. That's a horrible square. I do apologize. So we first say 7 times 8, which gives us 56. And then only do we add the 9. And I feel like I should have written this the other way. So 9 plus 56. And exactly this gives me 65. So the answer for the last one is 65. And that's really important. We need to use our correct order of operations. Well done. Oh. Okay, guys, last opportunity to stretch before we carry on. I'm glad you're all enjoying my joke. Okay, now guys, again, remember, if you don't get the brain teaser or the brain break thing that we do, it's absolutely fine. It's just something that we take a little break from the geometry and the maths, and then we carry on with what we're doing, just to have a little break from so much maths, so our brains can hopefully focus. Sure, English today. Alrighty. Okay, so guys, if your hands are up to ask a question, if it's about the brain teaser, brain freeze thing, don't worry. It's really nothing you have to stress about. So you're welcome to lower them, or you can pop your question in the chat. I'm going to move on to the new reason today, because obviously that's the important thing here, maybe, so that we can have a look at what we need to chat about. Okay, but like I say, pop your answers in the your questions in the chat, and we'll definitely help you there, or you can direct message Yolanda or myself. Okay, guys, so what we're going to chat about today is sort of the next reason within triangles, which is angles opposite equal sides. So what this reason says is that if we have a triangle with two equal sides, then the angles opposite those equal sides are equal. So the first thing to be mindful of is the fact that anytime we have these little lines on a side like that, that's telling me that those lengths are equal. And so what that means is whatever the length of the side is, they are the same. So if, let's say, for example, I had a label here of 5 centimeters, the lines indicate that both of those sides are 5 centimeters. So they are the same length. Okay, what this reason sort of says to us is that the angles that sit directly opposite those sides, so in this case, the angle A and the angle B are equal in size. So this is what the statement is saying over here. The angles that sit directly opposite equal sides in a triangle are equal to each other. We're going to have a look at quite a few examples as we go through this, but essentially this is our new reason that we're having a look at. Now, the reason that we'll use for this is angles up equal sides, angles opposite equal sides in a triangle. Okay, so if we just have a look at what that means, I'm not even asking you to solve for x in these little triangles. All I'm doing here is I'm saying I'm giving you equal sides. So let's decide which angles are equal to each other. So if we look at this first triangle, I've told you that the side AB is equal to the side AC. So what that means is that the angles opposite those two sides are equal in size. So that means here, angle B is equal to angle C because of the sides that are equal. Okay, maybe if you want to raise a hand or if you want to pop it in the chat, who can tell me which angles in the second triangle would be equal to each other? Okay.
I see some answers on the chat. Keep it up, my pips. Teacher Samuel just correct us just now.
Okay, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Right, guys. So if we've been told that the side, EF and DF are equal in length, sorry, those are horrible lines. The angles opposite them are equal in size, which means that angle E is equal to angle D. Alrighty. What about in the last triangle? Which two angles are equal? Pop it in the chat if you want. The third triangle, so triangle GHJ, which angles are equal there? Nice, guys, well done. Okay, so exactly. We've been told that JH and JG are equal, so the angles opposite those equal sides are equal. So angle G is equal to angle H. Okay, So essentially, this is what we're going to have a look at here. We're going to have a look at how we can work with equal sides when we've been given them in order to find the angle size. Now, I see some questions around how do we calculate this, etc., etc. We're going to have a look at some examples now. I'm just sort of getting the hang of how we look at these diagrams and how we find them. But we're going to have a look at how we go and actually use this reason now. Okay. So take a screenshot if you need, and then let's have a look at our first example. Right. Okay. So if we look at example 1, and I'm going to do it with you to start off with, we've been given a triangle here, and what they've asked us to find is the size of x. Okay, now the first thing that we want to notice is the fact that I've got these two little lines on the sides here, which is telling me that this side, even though there's no labels, that's okay, this side is equal in length to that side. So those two sides that I've highlighted in orange are equal. And what that then means is that the angles opposite those sides are equal in length. Now, if I've been given 42, then that means that x is equal to 42 degrees. And our reason is what we've just learned, angles opposite equal sides. Okay, very importantly, guys, those of you that have spoken about similarity, and if you haven't spoken about similarity, you can ignore me right now. Similarity symbol is 3 horizontal lines, whereas what we're doing here is an equal sign. So just don't get those muddled up, all right? But here we know that x is equal to 42 because of angles opposite equal sides. Awesome. So let's have a look at our second one here. Oh, we have some questions maybe. Oops.
Okay, Rehab, I'm gonna take your question, but I don't know if this was the answer. Rehab, we're all yours. Okay, so I'm gonna take Wangi's question. Wangi, guys, remember you can put your question on the chat also. If you want your question to be answered quickly, put it also in the chat. Wangi, we can hear you.
Sorry, ma'am. Our teacher told us that we're not allowed to use angles opposite equal sides for a reason. What do we use if we're not allowed?
Did your teacher say why? Because you are allowed to.
No, she marked it wrong last time I wrote that. She told us we're not allowed to. We have to like work it. I don't know.
Well, it definitely is a geometric reason. So I'm not really sure. Maybe you need to just chat to your teacher and find out why. Maybe there's a more specific reason that they'd like you to use, but angles opposite equal sides is definitely a reason. So maybe just chat to your teacher. Maybe there's something more specific they'd like you to use.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
Okay, oh no. Okay, Rungile, we are all yours.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask that how do you get that 42 is x?
Because remember, I said that because the sides that I've highlighted in orange are equal, the angles opposite those sides are then equal. So that then means that x and 42 are the same size.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Nkulumo, we are all yours.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
The answer is 100. X is equal to 100.
Okay, we're not on question 2 just yet, so give us a second. I just want to make sure everyone's got answers, but well done on giving it a try.
Okay. It just looks like we don't have anyone asking questions at this moment.
Awesome. Okay, so guys, well done on those of you who've tried to give question 2 a try. I'm just going to zoom in on that. Hopefully you've all taken your screenshots if you need to. Now, what we need to be careful of here is we need to again look at see where our equal sides are. So if I have a look, it's telling me because of those little lines on the sides that the side BC is equal to the side AC. So that means the angles opposite each other, so angle B and angle A, are equal to each other. So here we just have to be a little bit careful. So what we know is that angle A is equal to angle B, and we can say that both of them are equal to X because they're angles opposite each other in the triangle with equal sides, so they're both X. So this would be angles op equal sides. So because of that, we know that both of those angles A and B are X. Then what we know is if I take X plus 100, I should get 180 degrees because of sum of angles in a triangle. Whoops. And I can then go and solve for X. So what was really important here, guys, is that we saw where the equal sides were. And this is why I said it's so important to look first at your diagram and see what's happening. So we've got 2x is equal to 180 minus 100. And so 2x is equal to 80 degrees, which means that x, once I've divided both sides by 2, is equal to 40 degrees. Whoops. Right, so I've given you 2 examples here where we can use sum of angles opposite equal sides. One where it's just straightforward and you can just see what the angle opposite the equal side is. Okay, guys, everyone who's saying confused, I'm trying to explain it. So hopefully you're listening. We're going to do more examples, so don't stress, but I am explaining this, so listen up. So in the first example, we could easily see what x needed to be because of the fact that it was directly opposite an angle that we knew. So that was fine, I could read it off. But in the second example, 100 isn't one of the angles that's opposite an equal side. The 2 angles that are opposite equal sides are angles A and B. So that's why I knew both of those were x, because those were the angles opposite the equal sides. And then we just use sum of angles in a triangle to go and work out the rest. So before we carry on, I'm going to give you, actually take a screenshot because I don't think everyone has. And then I'm going to give you another example where we can practice this. Okay, and just see what I had here. Okay, so if we have a look at this question over here, we've got our 2 sides and we've got x. So I'll give you a second. See if you can tell me the size of x. Remember, of course, where your equal sides are. Sorry, I don't know what my laptop's doing. It's just having a bit of a moment, but we're working through it. Remember where your equal sides are and remember which angles are opposite those equal sides. Okay. Nomi, do you have a question or do you want to answer?
No,
Ma'am,
there we go.
ma'am, it's a question.
Yeah.
Is there a shorter way to actually answer these, because I'm very confused right now?
Unless I gave you more information, like if the diagram had more information on it, in this case, no, we have to use angles opposite equal sides.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so just always be on the lookout for the sides that are equal to each other in a triangle, and then know that we're then working with the angles opposite those 2 sides being equal in size. Because it's essentially, guys, what we're working with is an isosceles triangle. And we know that in an isosceles triangle, the 2 equal sides have like the base angles, for lack of a better word, that are equal to each other. So that's what we're working with in angles opposite equal sides. Okay, so I'm seeing some answers come through on the chat, which is awesome. X is equal to 48 degrees, and you can see why that is on the diagram. But our reason would be angles opposite equal sides. Right, so guys, well done with all those reasons. Well done with that answer. If your hand's up to answer the question, we've done it, so you can lower it. But if you have a question, you can keep your hand up.
Okay, Uratile, we can come to you. Is that a question?
Yes, ma'am, it's a question.
Okay.
So, ma'am, whenever we look, like we want to find X, should you always check which kind of triangle it is?
I mean, that is like a really good way to start, because if we know it's an isosceles triangle, then that definitely helps us find X. So if you've been given information about the type of triangle, then I would start there exactly.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good, well done. Okay, so guys, Oratila brings up a good point, and that's why if you're new, you can go back and watch the videos from the beginning of this course, but that's also why we spoke about different types of triangles and understanding their properties. Because like I say, what we're actually just doing here is working with an isosceles triangle, and we know the properties of an isosceles triangle. Okay, but well done, guys. You're doing really well. I know this stuff isn't easy sometimes, so just keep at it. Right, so let's try a second one like what we had earlier. Again, I'll give you a second or two to have a look and give it a try. You can pop your hand up if you'd like to have a go. Otherwise, pop your answers in the chat. Don't forget your reasons and look very carefully at your diagram and see which sides are equal to each other. And so which angles are then equal to each other here. You got it, guys. Oh, golly.
Ziwe, just give it a try. If you're right, you will see it when Teacher Sam does the corrections, okay? For everyone. You guys are doing really great. Could I take someone to answer?
Sure.
Okay, Nadia. Nadia, you can give it a go.
Ma'am, I said that x is equal to 120 because angles opposite sides, and my sides that are equal is A and C.
Okay, so we've got AB equal to AC as our equal sides. And so that means that the angles that are equal are angles A and C. So we know that angle A plus angle, yes, like, sorry guys, I'm just not doing well tonight. Angle A is equal to angle C. And we can say that both of them are equal to X because they are the angles opposite the equal sides. They're the same. And so we've got our reason. Angles op equal sides. So guys, we're not saying that X is 120 because remember 120 is not an angle opposite one of the equal sides. It's the third odd one out angle. But we do know that angle A and angle C are both X degrees because those are the angles opposite the equal sides. So now I know that I've got the angles X plus 120 in my triangle. And so I know that I need to get 180 degrees from them. And that's because of my sum of angles in triangle, or whatever reason it is that you're using, interior angles of a triangle, or whatever the case may be. And from here, we can now go and work out X. So X plus X is 2X plus 120 equals 180. So we use our inverse operations. and subtract 120 on both sides, which gives me 60. And then I have to divide both sides by 2 in order to solve for x. And so x is equal to 30 degrees. So guys, it's again really, really important that we go and have a look and see exactly where those equal sides were. Like Nadia was telling us, which sides are equal, which means which angles are equal, and we go from there. Sometimes we might need to use or go a second step and use angles in a triangle because we don't have 2 angles opposite each other where we know what that angle is, like we did in the first question. So have a look at the difference between these 2 questions. The angles that were opposite the equal sides, I had one of them in the first one. So if you have a look here, I had 48. I had one of those angles that was opposite an equal side, which means finding x, which was the other angle opposite the equal side, was a lot easier. But in the second question, in question B, my problem was that the 2 angles that should be equal, I didn't know anything about them. Those angles opposite the equal sides, I only had x to work with. So I could say both of them were x, but I still then had to go and do another step to go and find out what that x value actually was. And that other step was using my sum of angles in a triangle. Okay. So I know this can be quite tricky, but these are sort of the 2 ways we need to be able to deal with these questions. So take a careful look, take your screenshot if you need to. If your hand is up to answer, you can put it down. Otherwise, you can leave it up if you have a question.
So long, can I run the poll while they're busy asking questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, please remember to just vote on the pace on the polls. At least, so do you have any question?
No, ma'am, thank you. She just explained it now.
Okay.
Awesome.
Wangi, you have a question?
Sorry, ma'am. Is it possible to work out the whole thing without using angles opposite equal sides?
I suppose it is. You could use angles in a triangle, but then you'd have to first work out C in terms of, like, you'd have to get an expression for angle C and then work out angles in a triangle. So it'd be a lot more complicated.
Can I tell you what I did?
Okay.
I said angle A plus angle B plus angle C is 180, sum of an angle in a triangle. And then I said 180 minus 120, and then I got 60 and I divided it by 2 and I got 30.
So all of that is absolutely fine, but the reason you are dividing by 2 is because angle A is equal to angle C, and you have to make that statement some way. Otherwise, that division by 2, it doesn't have any meaning to it. So your working out is absolutely fine, but somewhere you need to have told me that angle A is equal to angle C because of angles opposite equal sides.
Okay, ma'am.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so if I'd given you an x at angle C, then you could do all of that because then I've told you it's equal. But because I haven't, you first have to tell me and then you can go do it. So Wangi, like, the best advice is treat me as if I know nothing about geometry. You have to lay it all out for your teacher, step by step by step, and make sure everything is super clear.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Good.
Okay, LeBron, I think Teacher Sam has to go though to the next class.
Hey, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I don't understand why you said C is an X.
Sorry, why I said?
Why you said C is an X?
Because it's the angle opposite the equal side. So they're both X's.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.